Yes, brothers and sisters, you can hear me? Yes, as I said, Marcus Garvey set the tone. I am only a disciple of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and carrying out the work of this great brother. Brothers and sisters, we have come a long way. And all that we need to do, we just need to follow the black prints of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. The Ethiopian World Federation, I'd like to thank you for this gathering. Thank you for uniting under this banner, His Imperial Majesty. Much love. Thanks for the work that you're doing to continue to build for our people. Our only belief is one God, one aim, one destiny, and to develop our people under this banner. Brothers and sisters, we have been living in the system for 400 years, and nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. You have to realize what Mr. Garvey gave to us. Mr. Garvey gave a government to us. And when I say brothers and sisters, a government, he gave an active government. Until 1973, we, the UNIA, we had our own passport that we traveled the world. You have to realize that everything that have been organized under the banner of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Mr. Garvey shook the cornerstone of 3 major empires. Brothers and sisters, he shook the cornerstone. The British, the French, and the US, they got together and they asked themselves, are we going to allow this one man to break down what we have built for 400 years? And after that, they said Mr. Garvey had to go. They realized Mr. Garvey had to go. But what Mr. Garvey said? Brothers and sisters, we must be willing to die for our brothers and sisters, because what? Men who are in earnest are unafraid of consequences. Meaning, we must be willing to do what we need to do for the black race and be ready to deal with the circumstances.
No matter what.
Brothers and sisters, they took us out of Africa. They brought us here to build this world. And this man is not so stupid. He enslaved us and then convinced us that we participated in slavery. And most of us believe. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you something. We never participated in that slavery process. You know, 400 years ago, John Hawkins went to Queen Elizabeth I and he said to her, Queen, I want to go into Africa and I want to take black people. Queen Elizabeth turned to John Hawkins and said, how will you compensate these black people? John Hawkins said, they're uncivilized. Therefore we will civilize and Christianize them. Brothers and sisters, they came into Africa. They came into Africa. They began to take us out. Brothers and sisters, we never gave up. We fought them in the jungle. We fought them in the villages. We fought them in the high seas. Brothers and sisters, we fought them on 60 different mountain tops in Jamaica. We fought them in Haiti. Marcus Garvey fought them here in Harlem. Malcolm X fought them, brothers and sisters. We are still fighting them. So don't propagate that nonsense. But we participated in slavery. They said slavery was economics, right, brothers and sisters? They said it was economics. We're the ships that we owned. Brothers and sisters, where are the insurance companies that we own? Where are the banks that we own, brothers and sisters? Brothers and sisters, this man is good, this man is smart. Brother, if you tell a lie long enough, even the liars start believing it. But we as African, we cannot fall prey to that system. We should never admit that we participated in slavery. Because what they did, at gunpoint, they came to my village. They came to my village and they hold me up at gunpoint. And they tell me to come to your village. And if I don't take them, they're going to kill me. But I believe in what? Death before dishonor.
Thank you.
So many of us were killed. Some of us who were not strong enough, they were forced into it. But brothers and sisters, never admit to that nonsense. Every time you admit that we participated, we are dishonoring our ancestors.
Yes, you do.
We are dishonoring our ancestors, brothers and sisters. So we have to stop. We have to stop propagating that nonsense, and we have to go to Africa ourselves. Each of us represent an ancestor. We must take that spirit. This year alone, I went to Africa 4 times already, and I'm going 4 more times, because you remember that land that Marcus Garvey talked about.
Yes,
You remember that city Marcus Garvey talked about. We are going to build it.
That's right.
We are going to build it. I've already purchased 200 acres in Liberia, and we are farming there.
Oh, amen.
We are farming there. We're going to build that city. But we're going to come back to that. Brothers and sisters, I have traveled through the streets of Johannesburg,
It's almost like a job type.
Pretoria. I've traveled through the streets of Kumasi and Accra. I have traveled through the streets of Monrovia, the highways of Gambia and Senegal. Brothers and sisters, I come back to the States. I travel all over the States. I go through the Caribbean. I travel through various cities. I go to my hometown. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. And I travel through Kingston. I travel through Grand Spain, and I travel through Maypen. And I don't see any supermarkets that we own. I don't see any banks that we own. Here in America, I look at our communities and who own the supermarkets in our community. Who own the supermarkets? Who own the banks?
Not us.
Everybody but us.
Look, my friend had owned a center on Church Avenue in Brooklyn. And downstairs from him was a Korean store. And the Korean gentleman said, I have 7 of these stores. And he said, I have them all in the West Indian community. And these are West Indian store, but you know what happened? I never see any West Indian owning them, or any West Indian working in them. He went on to say, my friend turned to him and said, Mr. Lee, where you get all this money from to own all these stores?
Come, black people.
He said, I go to the Korean Association. The Korean Association gives me any amount of money I want. But I make sure I pay them back so another Korean can get a loan. My friend said to him, so Mr. Lee, since you and I are friends, Mr. Lee, since I buy from you every day, can you take me to the Korean Association to get a loan?
Oh, no.
Mr. Lee started to stutter instantly. No. Korean Association.
No.
Korean people. He went on to say, you are black.
Thank you.
He said, go to the Black Association.
Not.
Go to the Black Association. Brothers and sisters, where is the Black Association? Where is the black government? UNIA, ACL, Mr. Garvey built it over 100 years ago. It was there then and it's still here. What the oppressors did, they said we cannot allow so many black people to organize under one banner anymore. So we have to destroy the UNIA. But they thought they destroyed the UNIA. But what Mr. Garvey said? Mr. Garvey said truth, crushed to the earth, brothers and sisters, must rise again. We are rising that truth because we are the Garveyites who are not afraid, and we are rising this truth. Mr. Garvey said, where's the black man king and his kingdom? Where are people of high places? Where are government? Where are supermarkets?
And the white man.
Brothers and sisters, I said to you, I walk all these streets and I couldn't see a supermarket. When I go to my hometown, it's the Indians and the Jews and the Chinese own the supermarkets in Jamaica. When I go to Accra, it's the Lebanese. When I go to Liberia, it's the Chinese, it's the Indian and the Lebanese own the supermarkets. But I live out in Queens. And the Africans here in America are the richest of the Africans in the world. And we don't own our own supermarket. Who own the stores in our communities? Everybody else. So what we did, we looked back at the black prince of the Factory Workers Corporation by the UNIA, my dear sister. We look at the black print of the Black Star Line shipping company, and we said we are going to form a supermarket for ourselves. Let me ask you a question. How many of you here, if Mr. Garvey was here right now and he asked you to invest $5 in the Black Star Line, how many of you would have invested? Let me see your hand.
Right here, right here. Everybody.
So let me ask you a question.
Online.
If Mr. Garvey sent me here today to create another investment, and for you to invest $5, would you invest with us here today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go to Victoria.
Brothers and sisters,
Jimmy Jack.
we took $5. We did a cost of living adjustment from 1919 until today. Those $5 equals $600. We're asking every African to invest $600 in our business, our supermarket, our wholesale. We started that 5 years ago. We had the first meeting, what's in the Schaumburg. The first night, black people invested $380,000.
Yay!
3 months after that, we collected a total of $1.7 million that Africans invested together. We created what is the rock 5 years ago. 2 years ago, we realized a profit. We gave every shareholder their dividends. Who is a shareholder here in the rock? Let me see your hand. Who is a shareholder here in the rock? Let me see your hand.
Right here.
Who is a shareholder?
Right here.
Have you got your dividends?
Yes, sir.
This past year, we paid out dividends of 12.8%, brothers and sisters.
You know what I'm saying?
Brothers and sisters,
Spend black and get your money back.
we cannot finance our enslavement. We don't have an excuse anymore. We have a black supermarket. So if the black supermarket is 2 hours away, you need to bypass every other supermarket and come to your supermarket, shop in your supermarket. Because if we change the way we spend our money tonight, our conditions change tomorrow, brothers and sisters.
Got that right.
Our conditions change. So we have our business, we call it the rock. Brothers and sisters, we need for you to come in. We need for you to shop there. Stop going to all these.
Where is it?
The location is 13205 Merrick Boulevard in Queens. We have 1,500 square feet. Brothers and sisters, I own 4 restaurants. I own 4 restaurants myself. And I was paying millions of dollars each year to alien companies. And I said, what are we, stupid? Look how many black restaurants are here. Look how many black people are shopping. And we're going to spend with these people? Brothers and sisters, it must stop. So that's what we did. We're looking to start in a branch of it in Manhattan,
Yay!
one in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, and wherever our people live. But for that to happen, we need our people to invest. And even more than invest, we need our people to shop. Because brothers and sisters, tell me something. If Mr. Garvey was here with the supermarket, wouldn't you travel 50 miles if need be to support our supermarket? If we're going to guarantee you that business will help to lead to economic freedom, wouldn't you be supporting that business? Everybody else doing it. And we're financing them. So again, we have the rock. This young man here, Jonathan, do you have a share in the rock? Are you an investor in the rock?
Yes!
We have to teach our children. We have to let them know that they can own and control business. When I was a boy in Jamaica, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I used to go back there and only Chinese children we used to see behind the counter. Get some information on the rock, but we will get there. Brothers and sisters, Mr. Garvey was getting the better of the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney. Yes. So, Mr. Garvey, was getting the better of the U.S. attorney. The U.S. attorney turned to the jurors and said, "Are you going to let the tiger go? Are you going to let the tiger go?" Brothers and sisters, they convicted the tiger. But what the tiger said? The tiger said, "Yes, you have caged the tiger. However, my cubs are roaming."
Cubs here!
Brothers and sisters, didn't we see the cubs in the form of Malcolm X?
Yes.
Didn't we see the cub in form of Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan? Didn't you see the cub in my sister here and you cubs who are standing here today?
Yes.
We are the cubs of Mr. Garvey continuing the fight. Understand? We are the cubs of the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. So what they did? They locked up Mr. Garvey in prison. They locked him in the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. Someone went to Mr. Garvey and said, "If you had it to do over again, would you do it different?" Mr. Garvey said no. He said, "When I did what I did, I knew exactly what would happen to me. However, men who are in earnest are unafraid of consequences." So they locked Mr. Garvey in prison. And Mr. Garvey wrote that famous letter and sent to the UNIA division and black people all over the world. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to recite Mr. Garvey's letter for you today. We're going to bring Mr. Garvey in this circle now.
All right.
In the letter, Mr. Garvey said, after my enemies are satisfied, black people will come back to serve. In life, I shall be the same, but in death, I shall be a terror to the force of black liberty. If death has power, count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey. If I may come in a cyclone, pestilence, or as God would have me, black people, don't you know I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you? Black people, would I not go to hell 1,000,000 times for you? Would I not cry at the footstool of the Lord Omnipotent for you? Would I not walk the earth like the ghost of Macbeth for you, sister? Then why be sad? Cheer up and be assured that if it takes 1,000,000 years, the sins of our enemies shall visit the 1,000,000th generation of those who hinder and oppress us.
He says 6:45.
Please.
Okay.
If I die in Atlanta, my work then shall only begin. For I shall live in the spiritual to see the days of Africa's glory. Black people, look for me in the whirlwind. Look for me in the storm. Look for me all around you. And when I am dead, wrap me in the mantle of the red, the black, and the green. For with God's grace and blessing, I shall rise again. I shall bring with me countless millions who have died in the Caribbean, North America, and Africa to aid us in the fight for freedom, liberty, and life. One God, one aim, one destiny. Brothers and sisters, Marcus Garvey left the black prints for us. We don't have to follow everything else, anything else. Everything that came after that came from Garvey and Garveyism. So we are saying to you, come home. Come home to Garvey and Garveyism. Come home to the institution, to the government that Mr. Garvey built. One God, one aim, one destiny. Blessed day, blessed day, blessed day, my brothers and sisters. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
One more time, please applaud for the President General of the